Democratic State Senator Sonya Jaquez Lewis is losing a lot these days. Her ability to hire state-paid legislative aides was taken away after accusations that she mistreated her staff. Democratic Senate leadership said today they also would support a request for an ethics committee to investigate the allegations. And now they're also taking away her power in the state Senate. The senator from Longmont was stripped of her ability to serve on a Senate committee for the coming session as the investigations into how she treats her staff begin. A guild representing the legislative aides has called for her to resign. While we still don't know the exact accusations, the Colorado Sun is reporting that former aides complained she made them do chores like yard work and bartending at her home. Another report from Colorado Public Radio says she withheld pay from her aides. No word yet from Jaquez Lewis on how she plans to respond. Tonight, Englewood police are looking for a driver that they say was involved in a deadly hit and run. It happened last night on South Logan Street near Swedish Hospital. Police say when officers got to the scene of the crash, they found a person lying in the roadway. They were taken to a local hospital where they later died from their injuries. Englewood police is asking anyone with information to contact them. A man from Denver is facing murder charges in Boulder County. It comes after the coroner's office identified the remains of a woman who's been missing since July. The Boulder County Sheriff's Office says the remains were identified as a 37-year-old woman, a Venezuelan citizen who was living in Denver. Police say she was reported missing back on July 15th. Boulder County deputies found her remains more than 2 months later on Blue Mountain Road, northwest of Lyons, on September 27th. Coroner's office was able to identify her by matching her DNA with a family member. Police arrested a 34-year-old man in the case yesterday. They say that he was in a relationship with her when she disappeared. He's currently booked into the Boulder County Jail, facing first-degree murder charges. Want to take a live look outside right now? That is downtown Denver, all lit up. It was a beautiful December day all around Colorado, much warmer weather than we're used to perhaps this time of year. Hey, perfect weather for a parade. Want to bring in 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen. And Corey, anybody who was out there at the 9 News Parade of Lights got a beautiful evening for it.
It was. I think Steve Steger made it all the way through without putting his jacket on. So
Christmas weather.
It's great. And
yeah.
He got to show off that awesome sweater of his too. So we'll have one more really nice day tomorrow. Fairly nice. It'll be the same temperature, just a little cloudier with some wind. 41 degrees here in downtown Denver right now, still after a high of 62 today. Your overnight lows 33. We might stay above freezing in Denver overnight. Gunnison looking at another negative temperature out there with those mountain valley temperature inversions once again in place. Here's your day through Denver, going up to about 58 degrees tomorrow. We'll have a little bit more cloud cover from time to time. You'll also notice a little bit more wind out in front of the next storm system that's coming on Monday. Here's the temperatures across the Front Range, Eastern Plains. Foothills looking good tomorrow, and 30s up in the mountains for high temperatures. Here is your headline. So on Monday, we're looking at light mountain snow, 2 to 5 inches or so on the high mountain passes. Metro snow looks pretty low impact. We're talking about a 0 to 2 inches for most of us, and it's going to be a calm week ahead. We're looking at another long, warm, and dry stretch after this. I'll talk about that stuff coming up in the forecast.
Corey, thank you. So let's talk about that 9 News Parade of Lights. It was a special one this year, 50th annual parade here in Denver. Our Angeline McCall was the lucky one who got to go out there tonight. And Angeline, let's just say that I was a little bit jealous of you.
Yeah, it was such a good night. It was good weather too, and good weather usually means good turnout. And for so many of us, the Parade of Lights feels like the official start to the holidays. And for so many people who grew up here in Denver, it's a tradition that they've now kept with their families and their children.
When the holidays roll around, it's time to make memories.
We like seeing lights, and we like looking at festivities. Yes.
The ones we'll remember from when we were kids.
It's my first time, and we thought it would be fun to hang out with each other.
For some, this is a first at the 9 News Parade of Lights.
I've been here, so this is my first time, so.
And others, this is another year of memories.
I think this is my maybe 5th time, I don't know.
The kids who have been here before know what to look out for.
I like horses.
And they have their favorites.
Seeing all the cool cars come down.
Even with all of the lights and floats and costumes, they know the best part.
Definitely friends and family, because I don't get to see them very often. Same. Let's go. Friends and family.
Hang out with friends and hang out with family and eat.
It's the memories, and for some, what's turned into something more.
Yeah, it's like a family tradition for us.
We asked the kids what their favorite part was. A lot of them said that they loved the candy, so hopefully that was, a good turnout for them. And Mark, I have to say it was awesome seeing all of the kids who were able to take part in the floats or in the parade as well and walk in it.
Yeah, we got that 9 News float. You and I next year, since we're working tonight, next year we got to get it off so we can go on the float. I think we earned it this year.
We'll have our redemption year next year.
Exactly.
It'll be me and you and many others, I'm sure.
And all 100,000 or however many people showed up, all of us two and 100,000 other friends. We appreciate it. Angeline McCall, thank you. Well, more than a decade after losing her son in combat, a Colorado mother is continuing to turn her grief into giving. Angie Carver's son, Ross, was killed in 2010 while serving in Afghanistan. She says around 3 years after his death, he sent her a message telling her to start giving away Christmas gifts to the veterans at the VA. So she's been doing that ever since, and just last year she gave away more than 600.
Ross is doing this. He's driving me to do it. He told me to do it, and he keeps telling me, oh, I know he's loving it. I know he's loving it. He's like, every year I feel him say, you go, Mom, you go.
And she's doing it again this year. Angie does need help wrapping all of those gifts. If you'd like to help, there's going to be a gift wrapping party at the Evergreen Elks Lodge on December 16th. Today marks 83 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thousands gathered in Hawaii today for a ceremony to remember those lost in the attack. On December 7th, 1941, 350 Japanese aircrafts launched an aerial attack on the U.S. naval base there in Hawaii, killing over 2,400 people and destroying a large part of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Every year, crowds gather at the shores of Pearl Harbor to remember the event and reflect on the lasting impact. According to the Pacific Historic Parks, there were only 2 survivors in attendance this year. Well, 5 years after a major fire tore through the historic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, the building officially reopened to the public today. The Archbishop of Paris led the historic moment, opening the doors to the cathedral for the very first time. The ceremony then began with the tolling of its famed bells just after sunset. In his opening speech, the Archbishop talked about the power and influence of Notre Dame and how the cathedral brings people together from all over the world. Thousands of people were there in Paris to watch the historic moment, including President-elect Donald Trump. Ahead of the cathedral's reopening, the president-elect met with French President Emmanuel Macron and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Those gatherings took place in Paris. Speaking briefly to reporters, Trump touched on the successful relationship between the U.S. and France during his first term in office.
We had a good time together, and we had a lot of success, really great success working together on defense and offense too. And it certainly seems like the world is going a little crazy right now, and we'll be talking about that.
Macron was the first foreign leader to congratulate Trump after he became just the second president to win a non-consecutive term. The visit marks Trump's first overseas trip since winning re-election.